The following video contains spoilers for the entirety of Rogue Legacy. You have been warned. So since Rogue Legacy 2 is coming out this summer, allegedly, I decided to give Cellar Door Games' 2013 Metroidvania roguelite Rogue Legacy another playthrough, and after 7 years, it still holds up. The challenging yet fair encounters, the wonderful music that plays as you explore the procedurally generated hallways of an ancient castle and its grounds, and the clever framing device of each player character being the next generation of a family who all look exactly the same and are riddled with genetic defects with no mention of their spouses. The game begins with a tutorial featuring Johannes, the progenitor of your family line, progressing through a sepia-toned castle until, for some unknown reason, committing regicide, which old Billy Boy taught us long ago is a surefire way to make your wife go crazy and get murdered by a test tube baby. You then play as Johannes' immediate descendant and begin a generation-spanning quest into Castle Hamson to defeat Johannes. Only, after a generation or two, it becomes abundantly clear that there are an unusual amount of congenital defects in each new batch of badass babies. Early onset glaucoma, dwarfism, gigantism, and peripheral arterial disease, among other problems, all seem to run at a high rate in your family, which is a bunch of nobility in a medieval setting who all look exactly the same generation after generation. You picking up what I'm laying down there, Chief? You're banging your sister! But before we go adding Cellar Door, it's important to remember that the social ideas of incest have changed dramatically since the distant past of 2013, and Rogue Legacy must be examined from the morality of the time period in which it was created. So let's talk a little bit about incest. Incest was invented in Zero by Jesus, when he made Cain sleep with his mom, Eve, even though she was only office hot. When Cain found out his brother Abel was also sleeping with his mom and was a vegan, he bashed Abel's head in with a rock. Regretting the violent murder of his brother for the rest of his life, Cain did his best to advocate for non-violent solutions to romantic and familial disputes, which were the same thing at the time, and encouraged others to put bros before hoes, which is where the saying originates. Though genetic distance between partners increased as the human population grew and women all over the world let their hair down and took their glasses off and realized they didn't have to settle for their nerdy friend who at the time was always their brother, inbreeding remained extremely popular, especially among nobility, gentry, royalty, and other things rich jerks like to call themselves. Inbreeding was used as a means to maintain perceived purity of bloodlines and preserve what the upper class saw as more desirable traits, such as brittle bone disease, hemophilia, and being an ugly motherfucker. Exploration of these values can be found in Rogue Legacy's numerous references to ancient Greece, famously remembered as a sprawling hive of sexual degeneracy most commonly exhibited by the ubiquitous fashion of easy-access clothing. Sometimes these references come in the form of many of the game's power-ups like Helios Blessing, which turns murders into robberies which are also murders, and Hyperion's Ring, which allows you to disappoint your money-hungry ex-wife, your older sister, by surviving a blow that would otherwise kill you so you can amend your will to give everything to your hot young girlfriend, your younger sister. At other times, the Greek influences are seen in the developers' choices for bosses, like Herodotus, famous pro-incest philosopher, and prolific flaming disembodied skull and world conqueror Alexander the Great. Yeah, I said it, Macedonia. What are you gonna do about it? The slight variations in character stats also raise questions about the more tangible effects of inbreeding. Each time your character dies, you choose from one of your 3 progeny, each with a risk of genetic defects like being scared of chickens, which is definitely hereditary because I got it from my dad. Look at those beady eyes filled with malice and contempt. Ugh. It's not just in the random elements of character generation where the darker side of keeping it in the family is found either. Whenever you die, your descendants inherit the gold you acquired during your run, which can be spent on upgrades to your family manor. No doubt a labyrinthian sex dungeon that serves as a monument to your family's atrocious Oedipal legacy. Spending gold, which is gaming shorthand for hiring a doctor to splice more favorable genes into your twisted, gnarled spawn, unlocks stat increases but also new genetic monstrosities caused by your repeated inbreeding in the form of new classes like 40-year-old virgin, Bitcoin miner, weeaboo, edgelord, psychic vampire, serial killer, and oh no, who fucked a dragon? Was it you, Sir Useless? We know it was you. You weren't getting a girlfriend any other way. You use your combined might through lumpy generational strife, burglary, and HGTV projects to fight your way through the game's 4 bosses and eventually reach the throne room, where Johannes has been waiting for a few hundred years to tell you he loves you, and that's why he has to kill you. When you finally manage to defeat Johannes, which inevitably kills you because inbreeding uses vampire rules, and if you kill the head inbreeder, it kills all his descendants. It's true, look it up. The game ends and gives you a slow, agonizing slideshow of all the senseless death your tumor-laden family has wrought upon the peaceful inhabitants of the castle that were just trying to stop you from sister dickin'. In conclusion, it's important to remember that the values and ideas presented in Rogue Legacy were a product of its time, and indeed the game, however inadvertently, helped raise awareness of the problems introduced by inbreeding, leading to a broad cultural shift in the years since, which eventually resulted in the fairest compromise that could possibly be reached with such a sensitive matter. Lots and lots of stepsister porn. Hey everybody, Steve here, and thank you for watching my latest atrocious attempt at humor. Tell me what you thought in the comments below, and if you like this, consider clicking that subscribe button down there for more videos like it. They are a-comin'. Thanks again, and take care everyone. I love you.